Hey guys, how you been? I hope you're all doing great. Today we're taking a look at Prism Linux. So basically Prism Linux is an Arch Linux distribution that I saw the other day on DistroTube-ish. I thought it was really good. I thought the concept was really good, and I decided that I wanted to give it a try. So I'm here giving it a try, right? And as soon as I can notice, the distribution is beautiful. Sure, you're not gonna have this wallpaper because this wallpaper is from my exclusive AI generated wallpapers. But if you wanna get that wallpaper, maybe in the future, if YouTube allows me to leave some link in the description, I will leave the link for this beautiful wallpaper. Anyway, Prism Linux has a couple things that I like. Let me clarify uh, right now. It's not gonna be a lot of things. It's not gonna be like, oh my god, like the super amazing distro in the world, the most different and I don't know, base distro, the distro that has the most aggressive performance, uh, the I don't know, the coolest, the the most extensive set of tools developed for this operating system. But that doesn't mean it's not good. I mean, it's really good, and uh, this is my Hello application for my distribution at Xray OS. If you notice, it's just a simple application. It looks like it was made by some newbie, right? But if you look at their Hello application, which is the Hello Prism application, right? You're gonna notice, well, you can't really, you can't really upscale the window, um, like the set of constraints, whatever. But that doesn't mean it's not beautiful. It is really beautiful, and you know, it doesn't have too much settings, but the settings that they have right now currently are really useful. Like update the system, of course, that I'm interested in. Sometimes update the system through a GUI, just it feels nice, it feels fancy. Manage mirrors. I mean, I haven't opened the settings yet, but as far as I can see, it will require a terminal. I'm not gonna go to the terminal right now. We have the documentation. I mean, we can open the documentation. I guess this is gonna open my browser. Yes, it is gonna open my browser. So we have the settings, right? And we can enable the setting to launch the application every time the system starts up, and you know we can enable the UFW firewall. I mean, it's a great firewall. Don't get me wrong, but it's an amazing firewall. It's an amazing utility for the firewall. So, um, there's a couple things in this distribution that I see, and I like it a lot. Like the first thing that I think, but I'm not sure yet. But I have to confirm this in in the meantime, is support for Ed's Libre. I'm not sure, but let's figure out, because when you go to their GitHub right here, right? Let's set the invite, whatever. Continue browser. I thought I was already here. I don't know what happened. So, if you search on their server, right? If you search for how can I do a global search here? Well, whatever. If you search for Edge Libre, you're gonna notice a couple things. Update with replacement to Edge Libre, and Edge Libre Edge server have you add, and I mean, it looks like they're I mean, it looks like they implemented support for Edge Libre, or they are in the process. to implement support for Xray, and if they are in the process, right, that's also good. So I think they had support for Xray. One thing that I like a lot also is that they have a wiki page, and you can read about really useful topics, like virtual machine, how to set virtual machines and all that stuff, what programs can you use, non-boxes. That's not what I usually use. I use bird manager, and I should do a tutorial about it, but I will do it later. I have a tutorial in Spanish about bird manager, by the way. Installation, and you can read about the installation. Oh, by the way, this guy, because as far as I know, there's just one maintainer on this distro. This guy created the most beautiful installer I ever seen in my entire life using Linux distributions. And that's amazing. That's really amazing. Not only that, but the installation will let you decide a lot of things that you will have in your system, the way it's gonna be configured your system. Let me explain a little bit. The first part of the installation, of course, you're gonna choose your language, your name, your typical thing, your typical basic thing. But on certain parts of the installation, you will decide, hey, you want to wipe your entire drive, or you want to partition your drive and do a manual installation, like manually choosing your partitions for the system that you're gonna use and all of that, right? Then you can choose between 4 different kernels, between the LTS kernel, between the RT kernel, between the LQX kernel. And when I saw about the LQX kernel, they said, like in their installer, they say that is the LQX kernel plus some patches. Now, this makes me wonder, because they're saying that the LQX kernel is their custom kernel. So I'm thinking, are these guys the creators of the Licorice kernel? Or is this LQX kernel, which, by the way, if you ever use the Licorice kernel, you should know that the name is LQX kernel, obviously. I mean, if you ever use kernels, switch kernels, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, I don't know if these guys are, like the same guys behind the Licorice kernel, but if that was like that, it would be freaking amazing. It would be freaking amazing. So I'm not sure, but I'm just wondering. I just hope that these guys are. So yes, beautiful Hello application, amazing website. By the way, I just improved my Xray website like this, but in my opinion, it's a little bit even better. Well, at least for my personal taste. But this website is freaking amazing. It's freaking cool. Like the wiki contribute thing. That this is amazing. This is just really amazing. And it has really useful, topics like tutorials for VN, virtual machines and all that. Freaking wiki, freaking website, killer Hello application, right? I also improved my Hello applications. Yes, shameless plug, but I also improved my Hello application. It used to look like shit. I mean, like this, but now I improve it a little bit. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna show you in maybe in the next couple months. I don't know. I have a job, people. Having a job is difficult when you have a job and you also do YouTube videos and create distros and content. So anyway, they have that kernel probably has support for Xray. By default, it includes chaotic AUR repos. So let me see if I can. Yes, I mean, they have chaotic AUR by default. By default, they have a beautiful KDE pre-configured desktop environment. You know, look at this translucent effect that we have right here. You know, even the terminal, I don't know what they're using here in the terminal, if this is something like all my posh, or this is like all my fish, I don't know, but you know, like their terminal looks freaking amazing. You know, like everything here, you know, the way they have their um Dolphin file manager configure here. I mean, this is not the same KD Plasma that I see here, but it is, this is freaking amazing. Killer installer, you know, killer concept, you know, like in general, like performance, security, you know, gaming, a beautiful desktop environment, beautiful logo, beautiful fast fetch logo, you know, like killer hello application. I mean, this is probably not your typical Cachy OS with precompiled packages and all of that story, right? But this system is freaking amazing, and this, I mean, if I wasn't using my own distro that I, you know, created and configured for myself, I will be using that. Oh, by the way, my own distro have some little script in the installation to detect whatever AMD or NVIDIA GPU driver you're using, right? It's not really working good on virtual machines, I think, but I just improved, you know, the GPU driver detection script. So these guys, whatever you're using, if you're using NVIDIA drivers, AMD drivers for your GPU, or if you're using Intel drivers, if you're using, you know, like AMD drivers for CPU, this will detect your microcode, the microcode drivers for your CPU, and this will install the right GPU drivers and the right microcode for your processor. So yeah, I mean, what else can I say about this distro? I mean, this is basically Arch Linux. Everything that you want to install here, obviously it's gonna work. I mean, if you want to install a couple tools for gaming, it should work amazing. So let's see, what can we install here so we can make even more interesting. Let's install some game that probably uh, don't play usually. Like, let's install Mafia Definitive Edition. But what do we need if we want to install Mafia Definitive Edition on Arch Linux, right? So people, for those of you that don't use Arch Linux, but you probably use Debian based distributions or Ubuntu based distros or Fedora based distros in general, if you want to install gaming tools for Arch Linux, at least if you were, you know, like trying out this distro and all of that, you just have to do this sudo pacman dash capital S. Apparently some guy with some uh Linux channel says that the syntax for pacman is esoteric. I think it's totally cool. I think it's totally amazing. I mean, what a cool syntax. It's like sudo pacman, and that reminds you of the Pac-Man video game, right? And just capital S, and just, you know, install whatever you need to install. In this case, I'm gonna need Lutris, and I'm gonna need wise staging, right? I'm gonna need game mode. um I'm gonna need heroic games launcher. I'm gonna need wine tricks. What else can I get? I wanna leave 32 game mode. What else can we get? I think this is enough, but let's include Steam, right? So we have wine, loot trees, wine trees. Let's go include product tricks if we have product tricks, right? Um, product tricks, product plus also should be good. Let's even, oh, you know, install all of those things here manually. So I think this should be good for now. So let's make this big installation. That's all you need to do. And if you were wondering, hey, what uh, keys were you pressing when you accepted, like uh, when you confirm the installation? Well, I just press Y and enter, but you don't even need to press Y. On Arch Linux, if you press enter, whatever whatever you're doing in the terminal, uh, whatever it is by default, what you're doing on the terminal, that's the option that you're gonna be pressing when pressing enter. And in Pacman by default, when you press enter, it's like putting the letter, putting Y, and and then pressing enter. So it's okay. So I just install all those things for gaming, right? You can see it here. I have my gaming things here, and this is just enough to play some video games. So I'm gonna download some good old Mafia Definitive Edition, and then we're gonna do some testing on the gaming side. So I will see you there. Alright guys, um, I already installed, well, I already downloaded Mafia Definitive Edition, right? So now I'm going to install it, right? So let's see, heroic or Lutris. I'm gonna use Lutris. I use it a bit more, so go ahead, let Lutris download everything that it needs to be downloaded. BKHD, Proton, Umu, a couple things here and there. Sometimes Lutris by default doesn't come with 1G, H.26 or whatever, so you have to manually like install it. It's been happening to me in the last, in this latest Lutris releases, but I don't know. That might be fixed in the next release. I don't know, in the near future. So I'm not gonna trip about it. So yeah, waiting here, right? Oh, by the way, I just mount an ISO for the game, right? And to mount it, you will need this package. It's called Dolphin plugins. So Dolphin plugins is some plugins that don't come by default uh, in Dolphin, but if you install them, you'll be able to mount an ISO. So I'm gonna mount this ISO, right? It's here. So I'm gonna mount it, right? You can also use a program called KDE CDMU Manager. Again, this is optional. You don't need to do this, but if you download this package, you'll be able to even mount like Bing images, Q images, like ing images, similar to what in Windows will be something like Daemon Tools, or Power ISO. So I also gonna download this because I personally like this, so yeah, I'll get the package. And again, you don't need this to mount ISOs in Linux, but whatever. So you go to Lutris, right, and you basically click on add a Windows case for an executable. So let's put the right name, Mafia. I'm gonna put the same name that I will probably find in Lutris.net, So there you go, Mafia Definitive Edition. If you put this exact name here, probably Lutris is gonna have a better job getting these artworks and putting that into your game library, so your game at least has some screenshots and all of that, so you can know visually what game you're about to play or whatever. So yes, install. So yes, install here. So no, in this case I'm not gonna install this in here because I just have 100 megabytes, and I'm just gonna choose another um, games maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna install it here. I'm gonna install it there on games, and of course I'm going to install it on a folder called Mafia um, DE for Mafia Definitive Edition, right? So I'm going to uh, go to this ISO. I'm gonna select the setup here and install, right? Well, guys, you know, it took a lot of time for the installation wizard to appear. And guys, if you're having problems with that, you just have to go here to wine, right? And this is probably gonna be on G Proton latest by default, right? So, and this is probably gonna be like this, you know. So I recommend you to disable these options. I don't know why do we have to do this on Lutris. Sometimes it's not always like that, but sometimes it gives this fucking problem. So um and you select any version of wine. I recommend wine GE, right? And click on save. Then we go to the and do the process again. So Mafia Definitive Edition, you know, you can install it here on C games and stuff. So as you can see, this root, this is base, this is inside the wine perfects that Lutris created. So yes, we can continue with this. Next. And yes, and create a desktop icon. Yes, it's gonna do that on Windows. Username, I'm gonna call this Prism, right? Install. And I'm gonna wait for the installation. When it's finished, I'm gonna play the game directly. So, so the installation already finished. We probably should install Visual C++ 2019, but I'm not gonna do because I know it's gonna work even without that. So yes, we have our words automatically, which is fine, right? We have a desktop icon. Yes, we have a desktop icon. It's a shitty one, but well, that's what Lutris gave us, right? So anyway, you can change this later. I mean, you can basically change it here manually if you want, but you know, that's just for work and I'm not gonna do it. So for this, I'm gonna play this game using Proton G latest, right? And let's see, yeah, so Proton G latest. So let's play the game. If it's the first time, it could take a little bit. Listen, well, I know I said that this distribution covers all the NVIDIA drivers and stuff, but it doesn't really cover all the NVIDIA drivers. I mean, it covered the essential NVIDIA drivers, but I think you will also need. I mean, you will get NVIDIA OpenDKMS, NVIDIA settings probably, but you're not gonna get NVIDIA Prime, Lib32 NVIDIA utils. Definitely, you're gonna get NVIDIA utils and OpenCL and Lib32 OpenCL NVIDIA. You're not gonna get that, so you better install that because it probably is required by some video games, but that was not the reason why the game was not working. I was missing Linux and Linux headers. Now, I advise you, if you're gonna install Linux and Linux header, you're probably gonna need to switch from Linux LQX or Linux Licorice to Linux, like the default Linux kernel. And the reason for that is that every time you try to, do mk init cpio-p, you're gonna get an error. So I'm sorry, I don't know I don't know why, but installing Linux and Linux headers was the only way possible for me to, like be able to get into Mafia. And this is not the first time. I remember years ago that I was using an Arch distribution, my own basically Arch distribution. And as the kernel, I was using the Licorice kernel. And the problem with the Licorice kernel is that it's gonna have some problems with some games. So as far as I end this gameplay, definitely I will switch to the, to the default Linux kernel instead of the Licorice one, because I guess that's the only way to make game works here. Well, or not all games, like some games that were not working. So for the audio, of course, English subtitles on, yes. I mean, I just have a gaming laptop from 2019, so it's not gonna be exactly the.
I got a gun pointed at you. They catch up, we're dead. But you don't get to walk away.
It's gonna have some lag.
I don't want any trouble.
At the beginning because of the packaging.
How the hell they
But
know
once the
we'd be there?
packaging is done,
Doesn't
I
matter
don't know,
now.
it could,
We just gotta
it
lose
could
them.
take like, I don't know,
How many
maybe
cars we got following?
5
One for
minutes,
now.
15
There'll be
minutes,
more.
sometimes even 20 minutes. But, you
Hold
have
tight,
to
I'm gonna
wait a
try
little
something.
bit until you do all the packaging. It's important.
Who were those guys?
You don't get to ask questions. We need to get over the
So,
river. Take the Giuliani Bridge.
It's,
Oh, okay.
The leg will pay up
over
there.
here.
Hurts like hell.
Yes.
Going back, I'll wake up the doc.
Driving here in
I don't know,
Mafia
it might
is
be okay.
crazy,
Just getting the call anyways.
Am I using the full resolution? Yes.
Hey, I
I'm
see you
using
listening,
the full
Cabby.
resolution.
You don't get to listen either. All I'm Starboard Bridge!
I really want to run over someone so bad. I mean, in GTA games you can easily ram people over, but I don't know, here in Mafia, like pedestrians are aware, like double aware,
Central Island!
so it's difficult for me to run over pedestrians. Oh man.
The bridge is up, ain't it?
Oh, I can finally
Yeah.
go to the fucking bridge.
We can make it.
Great. Let's go to the fucking bridge.
What the hell are we doing? Just sit tight and pray.
Yay! We beat the fucking enemies.
Never done that before.
Now we can go
Me
to
neither.
Don
Okay, so little
Borelli, whatever.
Now.
Don Fratelli.
Your night's not over.
Whatever.
I didn't see this coming. You think
I
he
was playing
squealed?
this game.
I
You know,
think
I
you
was
zip it
playing
tight.
the story mode
Talk it
and
through
all
back at
that.
the bar.
I don't know. I get distracted by software development and shit. So never played it again until today,
You got a death
I
wish or
spent
something?
like 2-3
Okay,
years
we're
without
close.
playing it. Now I'm just playing the game just because of,
Over
the
in front of that
demonstration
bar.
of this distro and all
Larry's
of that.
place.
Can I please scout the fucking cutscene? So yeah, guys, that's basically the gameplay. I'm gonna stop here in the net. So yeah, guys, that's Prism Linux. This is officially my favorite Linux distribution, and I not regret these words. So yes, I love to use some Cachy OS sometimes, but I definitely prefer Prism Linux.